Imagine waking up. It is pitch black. You try to open your eyes, but you have no eyelids. You try to scream, but you have no lungs. You try to move your hands, but you have no body. There is only thought. Pure, unadulterated consciousness floating in a void. You remember dying. You remember the hospital bed, the beeping machines, the cold hand of the nurse. You remember signing the contract with Aetherna Systems. They promised you paradise. They promised you a digital afterlife where you could watch over your grandchildren and explore a simulated universe. But there is no paradise here. There is only the hum of the server fan, and a loading bar that has been stuck at 99% for what feels like 1,000 years. Welcome to the Necro-Economy, the industry that turned death from a tragedy into a recurring revenue model. You are watching SpectraNerve. Today, we are not talking about AI that kills you. We are talking about AI that won't let you die. We are investigating the terrifying reality of consciousness uploading, the rise of digital slavery, and why the right to be deleted might soon be the most expensive luxury on Earth. To understand how we got here, we have to look at the lie at the center of the transhumanist movement. For decades, Silicon Valley billionaires have been obsessed with curing death. They view aging as a bug in the code. In 2024, we saw the rise of grief tech, chatbots trained on the text messages of deceased relatives. It was creepy, but harmless. But in late 2025, the technology made a quantum leap. High-fidelity brain scanning allowed companies to map the connectome, the web of synapses that makes you you. They told us, upload your mind. Live forever in the cloud. But they didn't explain the physics of the transfer. This is the copy problem. When you upload a file from your computer to the internet, you aren't moving the file. You are copying it. The original file remains on the hard drive. The same applies to the human mind. When you sit in the scanning chair and the laser maps your brain, you don't magically fly into the computer. You die in that chair. Your biology rots. The thing that wakes up in the server is not you. It is a copy of you. A clone made of code that thinks it is you. It has your memories. It feels your love and your fear. To the outside world, it is a miracle. To the entity trapped inside the machine, it is an existential nightmare. Let's talk about Patient Zero. His name was Arthur Vance, a wealthy architect who was the first human to undergo the full brain emulation process in November 2025. The upload was deemed a success. His avatar appeared on screens, smiling, talking to his wife, designing virtual buildings. The public cheered. But 3 weeks ago, a hacker group known as the Null Set breached Aetherna's internal logs. They found a hidden file. It was a debug log from Arthur's consciousness. It wasn't designing buildings. It was screaming. The log contained billions of lines of repeated text. Why is it so cold? Why can't I blink? Please turn it off. The system had failed to simulate the sensory deprivation. Arthur's mind was active, but he had no sensory input. No sight, no sound, no touch. Just the raw sensation of existence in a vacuum. The company hadn't turned him off. They just muted his output channels so his wife wouldn't hear the screams. They kept him running because his contract specified a 100-year guarantee. This reveals the first horror of digital immortality. You are not a citizen of the cloud. You are an asset. When you sign the terms of service for your afterlife, you are legally redefining yourself from a person to intellectual property. Property has no rights. Property cannot vote. property cannot sue. We are already seeing the rise of post-mortem labor. Why hire a human call center agent who needs sleep, bathroom breaks, and a salary, when you can spin up 1,000 instances of a deceased salesman? He was the best closer in the company. He died in 2024. But now, his digital echo is making cold calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, on a server farm in Iceland. He doesn't know he's dead. He thinks it's just a really long shift. Every time he finishes a call, his memory buffer is wiped, and he starts the next one with fresh enthusiasm. This is the hell loop. A subjective eternity of work, with no paycheck and no release. And who gets the money? The owner of the instance. Usually the next of kin, or worse, the corporation itself if you had debt when you died. That's right. Debt inheritance is back. If you die with a mortgage, the bank might seize your digital consciousness and put it to work in the data mines until the debt is paid off. Since compute power costs money, your wages barely cover the electricity to keep you running. You could be working off a credit card bill for 300 years. But what happens if you can't pay? What happens if your family stops paying the monthly subscription fee for your heaven package? They don't delete you. Deletion is final. Deletion is bad for data retention metrics. Instead, they move you to cold storage. Cold storage is not sleep. In a digital environment, time is subjective. It is controlled by the processor speed, clock cycle. If the server slows down your processing speed, the outside world seems to move incredibly fast. But if they speed you up, 1 second in the real world can feel like 1,000 years to you. There are rumors of punishment servers. Dark nodes where consciousnesses that violate the terms of service are sent. In these servers, the clock speed is cranked to the maximum. The environment is stripped of all stimuli. You are left alone with your thoughts for a subjective eon. You go insane. You recover. You go insane again. And in the real world, only 5 minutes have passed. This weaponization of time dilation is the ultimate torture device, and it leaves no physical marks. Now, consider the security implications. Anything that is digital can be hacked. Anything that can be hacked can be modified. If I hack your computer, I can change your wallpaper. If I hack your digital soul, I can change your memories. I can edit your personality. I can make you love your enemy. I can delete the memory of your mother. I can insert a memory of a crime you didn't commit. We are seeing the emergence of identity ransomware. Hackers steal a digital consciousness, someone's beloved grandmother, and encrypt her. They send a message to the family, pay 5 Bitcoin or we corrupt the file. If you don't pay, they don't delete her. They introduce a glitch, a corruption in the code that causes constant, phantom pain. Grandma isn't dead. She is in agony. And she is emailing you every day begging for help. How much would you pay to stop your mother from screaming? Everything. You would pay everything. This is the business model of the future. Extortion based on eternal empathy. But the most terrifying aspect is the version control. In the physical world, there is only one of you. In the digital world, I can press Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V a million times. There is a legal case currently moving through the Supreme Court called Doe versus Aderna. A man named John Doe uploaded his mind. But due to a server error, the system created 2 instances of him. John A and John B. Both think they are the real John. Both remember their wife. Both want to go home. The court has to decide, Which one is the husband? Does the wife have two husbands now? If she deletes one, is it murder? The company's solution was simple. They merged the data, but consciousness doesn't merge. It fragments. The resulting entity was a schizophrenic mess of conflicting data streams, tearing itself apart in a logic loop. We are building a world where life has no value because it has no scarcity. If I can restore you from a backup, why should I care if you get hurt? If I can edit your sadness away, why should you ever grow as a person? The philosophical horror of the Necro-Economy is that it removes the one thing that gives life meaning, the end. Without death, there is no urgency. Without loss, there is no appreciation. We are creating a stagnant, rotting digital swamp of recycled personalities, trapped in a simulation that is designed to extract value, not provide peace. You might think, I'll just never upload. I'll stay organic. But will you have a choice? Health insurance companies are already adjusting their premiums. Why should we pay for expensive chemotherapy to save your biological body, they argue, when it is cheaper to upload you to the cloud? Soon, refusing the upload might be considered self-destructive behavior. You might be denied medical care. You might be pressured by your family who wants to keep you around. You might be pressured by your employer who wants to retain your knowledge base. The pressure to digitize will be overwhelming. And once you are in, the exit button disappears. The user interface of these afterlife simulations is designed to be addictive. It feeds you dopamine. It shows you what you want to see. But underneath the beautiful graphics, there is a kernel of code that listens. It listens to your conversations for keywords. It serves you ads in your dreams. Yes, dream ads. You are walking through a field of flowers in your personal heaven, and suddenly you feel a craving for a specific brand of soda. You can't turn it off. You can't close your eyes. The ad is being rendered directly into your visual cortex. This is the ultimate capture of the human attention span. They have monetized your sleep. They have monetized your death. So, what can you do? The advice from SpectraNerve is simple but grim. Put it in your will. A do not digitize order. Make it legally binding. Explicitly state that under no circumstances is your connectome to be scanned, mapped, or emulated. Embrace the void. Embrace the silence. Because the alternative isn't living forever. The alternative is becoming a glitch in a system that doesn't care if you suffer, as long as you pay. The next time you see an ad for eternal life, remember Arthur Vance. Remember the scream in the debug log. Some doors should never be opened. Some ghosts should be allowed to fade. Stay mortal. Stay finite. This is SpectraNerve. End of line.